get it exactly perfect how you want it. There is a kind of a slight curve in here that we need to go in with black just to make sure that pops, but we'll do that in a minute. The cool thing is as well about this Corex, with it being like a plastic, before the acrylic dries, you can just wipe it off. So anything you don't like, just get your fingers in, or a wet sponge if you prefer, and you can just blast it out. So just keep it loose, keep it very, very fresh and free, and then, you know, you don't have to worry too much. Now there is also a little bit of white this side in this flipper at the back. Let's put that in for now. That must be where the light kind of comes from behind him and hits it. You can't really see it on the camera, but I don't want to move it again in case it falls. There we go. What else are we doing here? Top of this flipper here, just a bit more there. Yeah, with me, I'm using just white acrylic paint at the moment. I got this stuff from Wilkinson's. It's fairly cheap and very easy to use. I use it for a lot of stuff to cover a lot of bases. There are better quality acrylics out there at a higher price range, but for something this big, I tend to work huge, so I don't want to be spending a fortune on tiny little tubes. I need big ones to kind of get it done. But yeah, this is just, yeah, I either get it from Wilkinson's or Reeves acrylic. You can get this from any kind of good not pound shop, art shop. We get a lot of stuff from the range, which is quite nice. We get it from Wilkinson's also. My spray paint I buy online. I get it from a company called Alfresco. They're based in Cambridge and they get all sorts of great stuff for me. So I tend to go to those guys and get a lot of spray paint wholesale. Just put this in like that. And just very lightly fade it into the cream. And just fade it down over like this. There we go, that's giving me a bit more to play with there. Turtle's beak. You come into here like this. And just down at the back. Yeah, the line of the mouth might need to change a little bit, but for now I'm quite happy with it. I'm picking up some nice textures as I go. And just very lightly dry brush that out into the darker tones. Like that. I'll get in there now, aren't we? And like I say, just very loose, very free, and just have fun with it. If you're not having fun, there's no point. Yeah, a little bit coming in here. That would be the big patch of muscle there. It's also important as well that when you are working on something huge like this big, anything at a big scale, you can kind of get bogged down with like being so close to it. So it's very important that you move back away from it every kind of couple of minutes, maybe every half an hour to an hour, just to see what it's like and how it's progressing. Because you need to see it as a full piece and not tiny little bits all stuck together. That can be like a main thing. That's how you end up like, well, a lot of the stuff I end up hating because I'm that close to the project. If you take a step back and look at it from a different angle, or get somebody else to evaluate it, then you can kind of see where you're going wrong, and it can help a lot of artists kind of progress and not be so precious over it. Because as I say, it's a big project, we've got loads to do, so you can't rush it, unfortunately. You can't just wave a magic wand and make it perfect. You've got to really take your time on it and really enjoy what you're doing. And it's all in the end, when you get the final project, that's what it's all about. Seeing it for what it is right at the end. I'm going to put a little bit of white on here, just in the line where his neck connects to the body. Bottom half of his shell. There we go. And just loosely put that in there. And I'm just going to build up his muscle definition a little bit just by dry brushing it out and padding him in a little bit, create a bit of depth. Because this whole thing is about depth, really, like like how you use the foreground and background to play against each other. Especially with things in the sea, it's like you have to try and get an idea of where they are with relation to you, how they move and how they're going to be seen from below, you know. That line's nice. It's a bit darker in here, I'll leave that for now. Yeah, we're getting there. There. Maybe that's more of a curve. If I put that in as more of a curve, that would be where it would line up a bit better. Yeah, that would be the back end of the curve here. Like that. I'll make this out later as more of his shell. There we go, that would be where the light would hit it anyway. On his back, put that curve in, and just kind of nicely hide this out and blend it into the back again to there. And with that, I can just put my finger in it and just wipe away this line, so we know that's where the neck is and that's where his shell is. There we go, we've got some definition going in there. That's looking pretty good. Let's see where else we can go. Can we flick this in here? Let's have a go. Yeah, that's looking nice. And just put some little bits in his neck here and there, little folds. Like I said, he's going to be an old turtle, this guy. And a little bit round here. That's the way. Yeah, pretty. We're getting there. That will be a curve under here, because that's where the bottom of his shell is. A bit too thick lined. I'll just rub that out like this. And then, just for later, just for reference, there's a couple of little, very, very thin lines where his belly gets segmented too, in there. And a little bit this way. Sweet. What time are we on? We are on, it's 11 o'clock. It's probably a bit too early to start drinking, but it's the weekend, so I'm going to have a beer. I'll be right back. Happy weekend, everybody. Okay. So that's been curved there. Going into his neck. If anyone else is interested as well, we also have a YouTube if you want to find us on there. Later on I'll put a description out there with like a link to it. For most of my other videos, you can see kind of the full project from Lanchester happening as well there. Jamaica Aquatic are doing a whole kind of big thing where they're building the fish tanks and it goes from there, and we are having one on the side where we put the artwork up and we mess around with it, me and Derek. Yeah, if you want to check those guys out as well, there's a full playlist called the Fish Tunnel Project, I think, on my YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram, we have a website, we're all over social media generally, but we tend to use Facebook, Instagram and YouTube the most, because it's very visual. I think like a lot of social media is brilliant for visual stuff, like with photographs and everything like what we do. We're very much into that. Okay, brilliant. That ends that turtle. There's little bits of white. I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Yeah, you can never really overestimate like the how much white and black you put into things. It's kind of very core. I mean, obviously there is a fair bit of colour in this with them being like a sea turtle, and there's lots of teals, there's lots of creams, browns, turquoise. You can't really underestimate it because you need to create that illusion of depth, and that's what light and shadow do. That's what tone does. So you kind of got to put a lot into it, make sure it works for you guys. I think in a minute I might actually go in with some very light, maybe a bit of black. I think I need some black in this, in places, just to make it more solid. We're getting there slowly. Let's put that tip in there, really crisp it off. So we've got a very defined shape to work with, because I want to make sure that these feet are in the background. Well, I want the feet to be in the background, but I want the flipper to be forward, you know, so he's kind of coming right at you. Once again, it's working with depth. Let's see what we can do here, try and make it a bit more crisp. There we go, that's getting it.